You guys know that people don't like change. This is something that we've covered a number of times before. We don't like change because it knocks us out of balance, or lack of gestalt is the term, and we don't like change because there's a perceived loss of control taken away from us, and we don't particularly like that. I know you guys have seen this before, but when you're going to be match fit, it's really important to remember where you are in this transition curve. So by now, guys, and if there's anybody brand new that hasn't seen this before, just jump onto the YouTube channel, and there's loads of stuff on this. You've got time along the bottom that the change takes. Bearing in mind, people are in curve 3 for 3 lockdowns, and to be honest, some people are in curve 300 in what's gone on in the last 12 months. But and then you've got energy and productivity here. So we know that change occurs and we go into shock, our productivity drops. Okay, so again, that's what happened 5th of January. Coming into the new year, thank God got all that out the way. 2020 was a nightmare, 2021 is going to be better. 5th of January, national lockdown, shock. Okay, people then started to go into denial again about the shock. They'd go into denial about it, going, it won't be as bad as last time, the vaccines are going to make it quicker, all this time of stuff. But then the realization that this was going to be at least for a few months started to take hold, people started to feel whacked around the head again. You know, I'm talking to even upbeat, positive people at the moment, and they're kind of going, do you know what, enough's enough, John. Enough's enough, I've had enough. Yeah, that tells you this is happening on a regular basis for people. You might feel angry, frustrated, you might feel fed up, sad, annoyed, whatever it may be, okay? But we're on this downward, because a lot of people on this downward curve. And then we get to the point of the rut, and we start to self-sabotage, or we start to sabotage other people. So we start to beat ourselves up, and we say things like, this is a nightmare, I can't believe it, I'm sick of this going on, I've just had enough, I'm fed up with it all, you know, or we start saying that to other people, and we start to sabotage other people's thinking at the same time. However, if you remember, it is the point of realization. So, at the point of realization, you are able to realize that you are in this rut. And there's a lot of people that kind of know they're in the rut, but aren't ready to do something about it yet. And there's a few people that have got out the rut, and there's other people that are still on the downward curve here. I am trying to get up this curve, but I have several people that can't work for me at the moment, because obviously their children are off school and this and that and so on and so on and so on. It's very, very frustrating with it, and the fact that you can't see my family, and you know, and so on. It's getting really, really annoyed. Albeit, I know logically there is very, very valid reasons why. I understand all the logic, but it's the emotion that's getting kind of caught up in things when it's here, okay? And what we have to start to do, if you remember, is we start to explore the new ways of doing things. We start to explore the new ways of the world. So, you know, when restrictions start to kind of come off, how's that going to be? What's that going to look like? And this is why everybody is waiting on the announcement next week, because nobody has a picture of that. Nobody really knows what it's going to be. In fact, Boris Johnson last night on the Daily Update actually said, to a question that was asked, we haven't decided any of these things yet. So all this stuff that you think you're hearing, take it with a pinch of salt, because nothing's been decided yet. And when it has been, you'll hear it from me. But there's still a lot of people out there making things up, saying, oh, do you know, I've heard this, and Sky News says that, and BBC News says this, and this is what we've heard off the record from a member of Parliament, and so on and so on and so on and so on, okay? So the exploration phase is to find the new ways of doing things. Now, this is a phase we are going to go through this year if we start to come out of lockdown, schools reopen, businesses start to reopen. We're going to have to basically sit in this phase for a while until we have got the new ways of the world permanently, the permanent new ways of the world, okay, going forward. You know, again, another company came out yesterday, Spotify have said they're not going to bring their staff back into offices when COVID is finished. They're going to be a remote business running forward. And so there is lots of change going on, for people, and there's going to be a lot of exploration. And the reason why I'm harping on about this point is because, remember, in exploration you can go up or down. So we've really got to do this exploration. What's the world going to look like in 6 months? Yeah, what have we adapted? Will there be some face-to-face stuff again? Are we going to be still more online? Are you going to get everybody back in the office, or do there still need to be a 2-meter distance, and so on and so on? And so, can you see your family? Is it safe to see them when you've had a vaccine? Is it not safe to see them quite when you've had, and so on and so on and so on and so on, okay? So there's going to be a lot of this going on, but ultimately, to be match fit, we need to be able to deal with this and get to the point of acceptance and deal with it as we go. And that can be quite challenging, because remember, that slope it's like, when you're moving up that slope, it's like you're climbing a mountain. When you come back down it, it's like a slide. So climbing up a mountain's quite hard. Abseiling down one's a lot easier. Yeah, so if you fall down here, it could take you twice as long to get back up again with your pickaxe and everything else that you've got to get back out to do it, okay? So just bear that in mind, guys. We're all going through lots of change still. Lots of people are still going through it. We're going to be in this exploration phase once we get out of the rut, and some people are still stuck in the rut at the moment. We're going to be in this exploration phase for a while this year. For a while. And it's okay that we don't just jump to this, but we need to make sure that we are match fit in order to keep climbing the mountain. Because if you're not, well, if you haven't got a pickaxe, if you haven't got a climbing pick in your little bag, it's going to be twice as hard to climb it. So you need to be, in other words, you need the tools to be able to be match fit, okay?